Today we're going to review what you learned yesterday about angles and do a little more practice using algebra and equations to help us find missing values of angles. So to review, complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. They form a right angle. Supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. They form a straight line. And vertical angles are equal. They share the same vertex and they are opposite of each other. So let's review how to use an equation to help us solve. For number 1, I see I have a pair of vertical angles. They share a vertex and they're opposite each other. So I know that they're equal, which means I can set up an equation to find the value of y. So I know that 11y minus 36, this angle, has to be equal to this angle since they're vertical angles. From here I have a two-step equation that I can solve. So first I'm going to get rid of my constant, which is 36. Since it's a minus 36, I'm going to add 36 to both sides. I'm left with 11y equals 99. To get y by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by 11. And I get the y value is equal to 9. Again, simply using the information we know about angles to set up your equation. Alright, so for number 2 is a little different because I have complementary angles because I see the two angles form a right angle, which is a 90-degree angle. So knowing that, I'm not going to set these two angles equal to each other because with complementary angles, they have to equal 90 degrees. So automatically, I'm going to set my equation equal to 90. Now my first angle is 4x. So the first angle plus the second angle, which is 5x minus 18, all has to equal 90. So my first angle, 4x, plus my second angle, 5x minus 18, all totals 90 degrees. So now I see that I can combine like terms and make this a simpler equation. My like terms here are 4x and positive 5x. So 4 plus 5 is 9. I'm left with 9x minus 18 equals 90. Go ahead right now and solve for x on your own. Alright, so let's quick check your math. We should have added 18 to both sides. Got a 9x equals 108. Divide both sides by 9, and we get x equals 12. And I was looking for the value of x, so I am done with this one. Alright, think about what type of angles you have for the first one, what your total should be, set up your equation, and solve for the value of x. Alright, so here I see a straight line, which means I have supplementary angles. I know that supplementary angles equal 180, so I'm going to set my equation automatically equal to 180. So now I have one angle, which is 6x plus 6, plus my second angle, which is 48 degrees, all equal 180. So I can combine like terms here. I can combine my two constants. A positive 6 and a positive 48 equals a positive 54. And I have my 6x because I don't have anything else to combine the x with. And again, that all has to equal 180. So here I'm going to solve. I'm going to subtract 54 from both sides. And I get 6x equals 126. I'm going to divide both sides by 6. And I get x equals 21. Make sure you make any corrections before moving on. All right, for number 2, think about the type of angles you have, set up your equation, and solve for x. All right, so here I see that I have two vertical angles. They share a vertex and they are opposite each other. So I'm going to put them equal to each other. So my angle 2x minus 12, since they're vertical angles, has to be equal to 74. From here I'm going to solve by adding 12 to both sides. Since I have a minus 12, cross those off, I'm left with 2x equals 86. Divide by 2 on both sides, and I get x equals 43. Great job if you got both of those correct. If you didn't, correct any mistakes before moving on. All right, here is your next problem. Even though this looks a little different, determine what kind of angles they are. Set up your equation and solve for x. All right, so here I can see that these two angles are on a straight line. Since they're on this straight line, that means they're supplementary and equal to 180, so I should set my equation equal to 180. If you did not have this, make sure you correct as I work through the problem. So my first angle is 5x plus or minus 20 put that together with the angle 3x, and again that all equals 180 because it's on a straight line. Combine like terms, I have 5x and 3x, so I have a total of 8x minus 20 equals 180. I'm going to add 20 to both sides since I have a minus 20. I'm left with 8x equals 200. I'm going to divide both sides by 8, and I should get x equals 25. So again, even though the angles are kind of tilted, I can still see that these two angles are a straight line. They are not opposite each other, so they are not vertical angles. Great job if you got this correct. Make sure you correct any mistakes before moving on. What is the value of x? Write your equation given the diagram and solve for x. Be very careful about your signs in this problem. Okay, so automatically I see a right angle, which means these angles are complementary, which means everything is going to be equal to 90. My first angle, 3x minus 15, put together with the second angle, 2x plus 10, all equals 90 degrees. I have a few things that I can combine. I have a positive 3x and a positive 2x, so 3 plus 2 is 5x. Here was the tricky part. I have a minus 15, and a positive 10. So since they're different signs, I'm going to subtract, and it's going to be minus 5 since I have more negatives. And then that's all equal to 90 degrees. From here I can solve. Plus 5, 5x equals 95. Divide both sides by 5. And I get x equals 19. Question was asking for the value of x, and I've got the value of x. So now we're going to take what we know about angles to solve a word problem with angles. So let's look at this first one. Angle A and angle B are supplementary. Angle A measures 4x plus 5 degrees, and angle B measures 5x plus 22 degrees. What is the value of x? So first things first, the biggest thing I see is that these angles are supplementary, which means they're on a straight line and they're equal to 180 degrees. When I have a problem like this, I should draw a picture to visualize what's going on in this problem. So again, supplementary means a straight line. I have two angles. I'm going to label the larger one 5x plus 22. And I'm going to label the smaller one 4x plus 5. Make sure you are writing this on your paper as I write this on the screen. So now, just like before, we're going to set up and use an equation to solve. So the only difference with this problem is that you are not given the picture. You have to draw it yourself based on the words in the word problem. So I'm going to set my equation equal to 180 since they're supplementary. So my first angle, 5x plus 22, added with my second angle, 4x plus 5, all has to equal 180. So the first angle plus the second angle equals 180. Now this is a long equation. I see that I can combine like terms. I have 5x and positive 4x, so 5 plus 4 is 9x. Then I have a positive 22 and a positive 5, which gives me a positive 27, and that's all going to equal 180. From here, I'm going to go ahead and solve by subtracting 27 first from both sides. I'm left with 9x equals 153. Divide both sides by 9, and I get x equals 17. We go back to the question. That is what the question asked for, the value of x. So I am done with 17. Now it's your chance to practice. Read the problem, pick out the key word that will tell you what to set your equation equal to, draw a picture, and solve for x. So the key word you should have picked out was complementary. Complementary is a right angle and it's 90 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my first 90-degree angle. I'm going to split that into two angles. So angle G is going to be 12 degrees and angle H is going to be 3x plus 6. So to set up my equation, I'm going to automatically set it equal to 90 since they're complementary. So my first angle, G plus my second angle, 3x plus 6, is all going to equal a total of 90 degrees. I can combine like terms. I have a positive 12 and a positive 6. The 3x is by itself, so I'm going to have 3x plus 18. 12 plus 6 is 18, and it's all going to equal 90. Solve my two-step equation from here. I get 3x equals 72. Divide by 3. And I get x equals 24. Go back to my question. My question was asking for x, so I am done with x equals 24. Lastly, we're going to look at a couple different types of angle problems. So in this first one, I actually see a triangle with an angle on the outside. So the first thing I need to know is how many degrees are there in a triangle. All triangles have 180 degrees. No matter what type of triangle. An equilateral triangle, a right triangle, any sort of triangle, all has 180 degrees. So here I'm looking for angle A, this missing angle. Well, I already know this is 80. If I knew this angle right here, then I could figure out this missing angle since I know the total triangle is 180. I can figure out angle C because I see that right here is a straight line, and I see two angles. I see the angle 138, and I see this other angle inside the triangle. So since those two are on 180 or on a straight line, that means those two angles are complementary. That means that I have a total of 180 degrees right here. If I take away the 138, which I already have, I get 42. So that means that this angle inside this triangle is 42 degrees. So 42, this angle, plus 138, the outside angle, equals a total of 180 since those two angles are on a straight line. So now that I know two of the angles in the triangle, I can figure out the missing angle. So first let's add up the two angles that I know. So 80 and 42 is 112. So already I have 112 degrees taken up in this triangle by these two lower angles. So to get A, I'm going to need to subtract. My total is 180 degrees in a triangle. I'm going to take away the 112 that I already have between this angle and this angle, and I get 68 degrees. So angle A is 68 degrees. This is just putting multiple skills of angles together. Just like this second one. So this second one looks different because I've got a couple of different angles in multiple lines. So I want to figure out what this angle X is. I see I have a straight line here. So I know that these two angles equal 180 because they're on a straight line. But then I also know that these three angles, 1, 2, 3, are also on a straight line. So these three angles put together is going to be equal to 180. Another thing I see is that this angle right here is a right angle, which means this angle is equal to 90 degrees. So if I know this angle is 90, similar to the triangle, if I can figure out what this angle is right here, I would be able to figure out my x. Well, I see another straight line right here. And on this straight line is made up of this 146 angle and this missing angle right here. So I can find this missing angle by taking the total straight line, 180, taking away the 146, and I get 34. So that means this angle right here is 34 degrees. 34 plus 146 equals a total of 180 on that straight line. All right, so now from this 180 degrees, I know two angles, and I just need that third. So first, let's add up what I have. I have 34 and 90, which gives me 124. Now I just need to take 180, my straight line, subtract 124, the degrees that's already taken up by these two angles, and I'm going to get 56 degrees. So here we're using our knowledge of multiple different angles, and sometimes we might have several different supplementary angles if we have more than one straight line. So now it's time to see what you've learned and practiced today. Complete your exit ticket, both questions, and enter your answers in on the computer. Great job today. Use your notes if you need help.